Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing a package by Yamaha which combined becomes the Yamaha's new TrueX Soundbar surround sound system. It's got a few moving parts, so hang around, and obviously as always hang around for the close-ups for all the photographs that we'll be taking. It features Yamaha's SRX50A soundbar, and then a combination of their little add-on speakers, which are the WSX1As or something like that. The cool part is, unlike any fixed surround sound system, a simple button press turns these into an awesome little Bluetooth speaker you can take outside or down the rest of the house or something along those lines. You can still use the product as a soundbar for the television, but when you get a decent movie or something with a reasonable soundtrack, you can bring those back, push the button again, and it goes back into the TrueX surround sound mode. Pretty cool. Given the bulk of this, we're going to move these off to one side and have a look at them a little bit later. Right, so shipping boxes. Pretty interesting actually. These obviously stack on a pallet or something like that to make them easy. Got a big subwoofer and soundbar all in this package, as you can see from the photo. The packaging obviously talks about the TrueX soundbar, the 50A. There's model and scannable information on the bottom. There's colour, which is black. Spin it around, basically the same. On the upright part of it, you've got a whole lot of information associated with its compliance with 4K video and some of the streaming that it can do. This isn't part of the Yamaha Musicast ecosystem. It's not designed to be. It's for people who have a television and know that the speakers on it are pretty much inept, and they need to do a decent, credible job of providing the sound for it. What Yamaha have done in all of their soundbars, or certainly all their modern ones, have also added the clear voice settings. So again, really focused on vastly improving your ability to hear your television properly, and with that be far more entertained by it. Now, opening these is actually kind of interesting. There's a bit of a process because the handle to carry it, of course, is in the mid sort of waypoint, and so it's doubly sealed in that area to stop the handle from sort of coming away. But you sort of start at the top with the pull tabs associated with the cardboard sleeve at the top, which is hampered by a freight label. Okay. Then slowly working along both sides until those tabs are open. Then it's a sort of a fold, right? And at this point you want to then cut away the additional tape that has been utilised to make sure that the handle can do its job. To get those tabs, you have to sort of trim not only the packing tape, which you'll see, but also these sort of notches associated with the tab itself, so that it can be opened relatively easily. Okay. Now once all those tabs are found and pulled out, you can then open this really easily. There's, in the packaging, it's worth showing that they've reinforced the handhold location with a little bit of additional folded cardboard, 3 or 4 layers in under the handle side of things. You see that they've given you immediate access to some of the accessories, and the first thing you'll see are a couple of desiccant bags to keep this dry in transit. You see some basic information here associated with a warranty and a quick setup guide. Oh, look, it's worth mentioning there's a big sticker on the front of this saying to update the firmware. That's kind of important. With some of the moving targets associated with HDMI compliance, with some of the streaming services and things like that as well, Spotify Connect, Tidal Connect, all of these things, keeping the software current is really important. Yamaha have developed a specific control app for this soundbar. It's actually called the Soundbar App Control, or Control App. And it means that you can keep the firmware up to date easily. It'll connect via the network, cable and Wi-Fi to do that, by the way, as well. So there's a whole lot of information about those things. Now there's a cardboard mounting template there as well. A very basic fibre optic cable to connect it to your TV. There's the unit's remote control. It's good to see that it's not tiny. So many of the soundbars have this little tiny 3 or 4 button remote control. The unit has direct inputs associated with television, HDMI, Bluetooth and network inputs. Network of course being any streamed content. There's surround sound modes along with movie and standard and a few other things associated with the usual stuff. What's kind of cool is they have direct access to the subwoofer's volume control as well. That's pretty cool. Obviously if it's an action movie you might want a little bit more bass, or if the kids are asleep in the next room you might want to turn it down. So it's good to see that it's on the remote control. We've got another stash of accessories. We've got a couple of keyholes associated with mounting this on the wall. We've got a traditional New Zealand figure 8 power cord and another one for the subwoofer itself. Okay. Now from here it's sort of half slide, half sort of mangle thing to get it all out. It's so well protected from a polystyrene perspective. So first bit. Now if you're doing this in your own home and you get the opportunity to have somebody give you a hand, slide all of it out on the floor. The coffee table here of course is restricting that, so we're doing it a little bit differently. So we'll take the subwoofer out first and put that off to one side. Have a look inside for a moment with the packaging, and then slide the soundbar element of it out. Styrene for the sub, and out comes the soundbar. Now, the two pieces of polystyrene are obviously a clamshell holding and supporting the unit in freight, and you can see that that's extremely well protected. Lots of packaging around it to ensure that it arrives to you in one piece. Now the soundbar is then wrapped in that sort of bubble paper, and it's pretty straightforward to nick the odd piece of sellotape and start the unwrapping process. There's 4 or 5 pieces of sellotape across the length. And unwrapping that element is very, very straightforward. Now, firstly, you'll see how elegant the design of the unit is. It's not designed to be very fussy looking. It's got a cloth wrap to help sort of mute its, it's not the shiny black or piano finish. It's a lot more muted, designed to sort of sit in the shadow of a TV. It's got a Yamaha logo in the centre there, along with a basic input selection as far as illumination for the TV, Bluetooth and network inputs. The clear voice mode is on and off, again, via a illumination LED, and there's a bass extension, and there's a flashing light associated with the firmware update. Tilting it forward, you'll see that some of the controls from the remote are emulated here on the soundbar's top. It's got on and off, it's got input selection, as well as mute, volume up and down. Spinning it around, we're going to pause for a moment and we'll see the side. This has multiple drive units in it, along with quite a good mid-range and other things like that. So physically, any traditional speaker is going to need a port to allow that speaker to work properly and breathe properly. And this uses it off the side. It's actually woven through it into the location of that particular mid-range driver as well, to ensure it does such a good job in such a compact space. Now, also the upwards firing effect speakers mean that it can actually perform its job remarkably well for Dolby ATMOS, as well as all of the emerging formats as far as Dolby Digital and all of the streamed format sounds as well. Turning it around, you'll see firstly that it's got a couple of mounting points if you choose to sit this on a wall underneath the TV. And then we've got the inputs and outputs, which are all at an angle or sort of cut into the soundbar to ensure that it's extremely elegant from a cabling perspective and can easily sit flat on the wall. We have a couple of HDMIs, clearly labelled TV ARC, HDMI out, as well as HDMI in as a pass-through from perhaps a SCSI decoder or a Blu-ray player. You've got a network socket. Now it has built-in Wi-Fi, by the way, and it uses that Wi-Fi to communicate with the wireless rear speakers. It means the connection for that is far more stable, and the bandwidth means it can get a far higher resolution sound to those rears. Then it's got the optical and USB input. The USB input is essentially for manually firmware updating the unit. It's got some nice rubber pads ensuring it won't slip around. We've got a little bit of information associated with its Wi-Fi compliance and Dolby ATMOS, and then finally the figure 8 power socket. Now, as always, please hang around for the photographs. You'll see all of these close up. Leaving myself with a little bit of space, we'll grab the subwoofer. Now, the subwoofer is a 6.5 inch sort of woofer. It's quite a good sound actually from a very compact box. This pairs automatically with the soundbar, so there's no additional setup process associated with it. It automatically turns off and turns on again when you do that with the soundbar as well, so there's no need to sort of try and turn it on and off independently. The subwoofer is protected with a cloth bag, and the first thing you see when you unpack it is the lovely embossed Yamaha logo and the main woofer, which is side firing. We see a big front port, although I guess this could sit in any number of locations, where this could be the front, or this could be the front, or it could even sit underneath furniture or something like that to be a little bit more discreet. It's got all of that in mind from an engineering perspective. It has a series of rubber pads on the bottom associated with traditional sort of locations, and spinning it around we see how simple it is as far as connecting this up, because it's simply got a USB for software, a figure 8 power cord, and then some basic information associated with its connection and status. You can force it to go into a setup and connection mode if required as part of its setup process. The unit itself, the amplification is cooled from the rear panel. It's got a digital amp on board. So there we have the first section of our unboxing, which of course is the soundbar and the subwoofer. Now these as a standalone product are excellent. There's no necessity to add the additional things that we'll look for, but it certainly helps for those people seeking a basic surround sound. Okay, so the next product is one of the rear speakers themselves. Now again, to give it the sound, the true Sound X, you want a couple of these. Opening them very straightforward. It has a basic setup as far as a QR code, and highlighting immediately the button you need to push to give you the connection between, the switching between its roles as a standalone Bluetooth speaker or as a rear. We expect to actually sell these as just basic rechargeable Bluetooth speakers as well. That's all the manuals and warranty and stuff. In Bluetooth mode there's between 10 and 12 hours of playback, and in rear surround mode there's a maximum of 10 hours. I mean, that's really, really good. It comes with a relatively long USB-C charging cable. Good to see they're following that standard. It's well protected with a little bit of polystyrene, and then these nuggety little speakers. Don't let the size fool you. Yes, they're compact, and that's the point. They are designed to be discreet, but for their size they sound really, really good, and certainly reinforced with the subwoofer in a surround sound environment you will be shocked at their overall performance. They're well packed and wrapped, very straightforward as far as just nicking carefully the sellotape to gain access. And there we have the first of them. Please, as always, hang around for the photographs. We'll do all the close-ups. So this has a battery on board. It has a rear USB-C showing its charging status, as well as, of course, whether or not this is a left or a right. There's also a wall mount available for it as well. Again, it's designed to aesthetically match the soundbar with the cloth wrap. It has the solo mode button, which is a simple click, and it illuminates differently depending on what it's doing. Solo and surround mode, as well as play and volume up and down associated with its performance from a Bluetooth sound perspective. On the base, it's made for its charging cradle, which is another optional extra. It doesn't come with a USB charger. It comes with the cable, of course, as most people have got dozens of those from the cell phones and iPads and tablets and things they've owned. It doesn't take very long to charge, and again 10 hours in surround mode and about 12 in Bluetooth mode. The last accessory is called the CCT1. Now this is a very convenient way of charging the unit. Perhaps if you've got a location for the unit in maybe a kitchen as a Bluetooth speaker, you'd sit it there, use it day to day to get your internet radio and the news and all of those types of things, and then pick it up and take it outside, or pick it up and use it as a left or a right speaker in your surround sound mode. It comes with extremely comprehensive manuals. On top of the ones that I've already shown you over there, we've got one specifically for the CCT1. Okay, and a nice little fold, and then the charger itself. Now I guess if you're going to buy the whole range, you should probably buy a couple of these chargers, just out of convenience. I know it charges quick enough that it should be fine, but having two charging cradles for the two speakers is always very handy, and it's not that much more. It has a recessed USB-C socket, obviously to plug the cable that's provided with the speaker. And then it's very, very straightforward as far as sitting on it to then charge the unit. If I understand correctly, it doesn't really matter which orientation as long as it's sitting on the pins, and it will alert you that it's charging. So it's kind of cool. Well, there we have it. Yamaha's brand new TrueX True Surround Sound System. It's 2.1.2 straight out of the box, with 2.1.2 for Atmos, 4.1.2 once you add the surrounds. It can be extended, you can run it without the rears, you can run it with, you can use the rears elsewhere in the home as Bluetooth speakers. So it's really, really cool. And I'm very proud to have shared this wonderful new soundbar and all of its optional accessories with you today on our unboxing channel here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.